Hello learners, welcome to the e-learning platform of Raintree English Coursebook for Grade 7. Today we shall discuss the second lesson of our coursebook, The Outlaws Report, written by Richmel Crompton. She was born in 1890 and was died in 1969, and she was an English writer popular for her books about the troublemaker William and his band of mischievous friends. Crompton understood children very well, and her William stories are about how children see the world around them. So children, now you are enjoying your childhood days, right? Have you ever thought of being an adult who has more freedom to do anything than children? Do you have the freedom to go out late night as your father or elder brother? Do you get control over the remote while watching TV? What do you think the same with the adults? Do you feel jealous on them? Here we have a story with some children who want equal rights like adults. They wanted equality, and they are calling themselves as outlaws. What is meant by an outlaw? It's a person who has broken the law. Have you heard of any outlaw story? Yes, Robin Hood the outlaw. Who was he? He was an outlaw who lived in the Sherwood Forest in England. Since he had been wronged by some nobles of Nottingham, he escaped to the forest. Why he was popular among the folk people? Yes, he was well known because he robbed the rich and helped the poor. Do you like him? Okay, here we go. In this story, William, the central character, with his friends, prepares a report of their demands. William was frowning as he walked slowly along the road. He was thinking of conversations he had overheard and the houses he had just visited. They had nearly all been on the same topic: better conditions, shorter hours, higher wages, freedom from want and fear, the Beveridge report. William was walking and thinking about the conversations that he had overheard at the houses he had just visited. Everyone was speaking on the same topic. Do you know what it was? It's about the Beveridge report. It was an important document published by the Government of England in 1942, which proposed steps to improve the conditions of the citizens of England. Shorter working hours, higher wages, freedom from want and fear are some of the ideas it suggested. He reached the barn where he was meeting the other outlaws, Ginger, Douglas, and Henry. "Look here," he said. "Everyone is talking about better conditions and things for the grown-ups. They are going to have a jolly good time. But what about us kids? No one is thinking about us. What about shorter hours and more money for us?" "How do grown-ups get it?" asked Douglas. "They have got a thing called a Beveridge report. We have got to do something for ourselves if we want anything done at all," explained William bitterly. "How about we come up with our own report?" Here, William feels bitter towards the Beveridge report. He feels it helps only the grown-ups' lives and does nothing for children. So when he reached at the barn here means a storage place for crops or grains. When he reached at the barn, he met his friends Ginger, Douglas, and Henry. There he shared his thoughts, and he was very firm and determined that they should make their own report. The others loved the idea. They sat down on the floor to compose the outlaws' report. So the other outlaws, they were also supporting William, and they were having their own report. They were ready to write their demands. "Well, first of all, grown-ups are going to have shorter working hours," said William. "So we will have them too." "Longer holidays," suggested Ginger. "More holidays than school term." "Wow. We would better not ask for too much," said William. "We'll ask for as many holidays as term. That's only fair. When we have worn out our brains in school for 3 months. We ought to have 3 months for our brains to grow back to their right size again. So the outlaws were writing their demands one by one. What was their first demand? Firstly, they want shorter working hours like adults. What it means? They need shorter school days and need longer holidays. When Ginger suggested this, William denied it. He said that's not fair because that they wouldn't ask for too much. As their brains are damaged by the 3 months school working days, they need to get other 3 months holidays, which will take their brains to grow back to their right size. Wow, what a funny demand! Do you think it's logical? Definitely not. The outlaws were very impressed. They nodded their agreement. Then there's higher wages. We should put that in, said William and wrote, 6 pence a week pocket money and not to be took off for anything. What other better conditions do we want? No Latin, said Ginger. No French, said Douglas. No arithmetic, said Henry. No, none of them, agreed William firmly, adding these fresh demands onto the list. Well, they also gone on and on about freedom from want and fear, said William, which means no punishments. Grown-ups can break things and they can forget things and answer each other back. Nothing ever happens to them. It's about time we had a bit of this equality that people are always talking about. And what about food? Said Douglas. I wouldn't feel free from want without 6 ice creams a day. Next, the outlaws demand for pocket money of 6 pence a week that should not be taken away for any reason. And the languages Latin, French, and arithmetic should not be there to study in their school. Then 6 ice creams a day and no punishments. Here William thinks children are punished for things, but grown-ups are allowed to do like breaking things, forgetting things, and being rude to each other. Dear children, do you feel they are funny demands? Yes, because the outlaws are asking for things which they will never get, like ice cream, extra holidays, no punishments, etc. It's also funny because they truly believe that they will get all their demands and that the government will take their report seriously. The outlaws daydreamed about this blissful possibility for some moments. Then William got back down to business. Then for some time, our outlaws were dreaming about the blissful possibility, how about the life they would have if their demands were met. Alright, they are going to make this beverage report thing into an act of parliament. So we should get ours made into a law as well. We have got to find someone high up who is going to London to see the government and will take it for us. The outlaws are thinking about the ways or means to get their report into a law as well. It means a person who has a high rank in any of the organization and who is going to London. I know, said Ginger with a shout. There is Major Hamilton. He is high up in the War Office and he has been home for the weekend. They say he has got some jolly important papers with him. He is going to take them back to London this morning. Gosh, said William excitedly. We would just slip our report in with his papers. It would go to the government with them and be made into an act of parliament. Suddenly, Ginger points out that there is a Major Hamilton, a high up in the War Office, who has got some important papers which has to be taken back to London. Then it was William who had the idea to slip the outlaw's report in with his papers, Major Hamilton's papers, and it would definitely go to London through Major Hamilton. So the 4 outlaws made their way to Major Hamilton's. There in front of his house stood a car loaded with luggage. A man in a military uniform hurried down to the car, threw a bag on top of other bags, and returned to the house. So these four outlaws, they were going to Major Hamilton's home to meet him. But there in front of his house there was a car which has been loaded with some luggage. And Major Hamilton was in his military uniform and he was hurried down to the car and threw a bag on top of other bags and returned to the house. So he was packing the car, loading the car with his luggage. William crept up to the car and got in. He hid under a large rug on the back seat and began searching for the papers. Almost immediately, Major Hamilton came back, leapt into the driving seat, and started the car. It drove off, and the three remaining outlaws stood staring after it, their faces frozen with horror. William got into the Major's car, and he was searching for Major's papers too, because he wanted to slip his report, the outlaw's report, inside Major's papers. Suddenly, Major had leapt into the driving seat and drove his car with William inside it. And the helpless, poor outlaws, they were staring at this with horror without doing anything. William was only slightly worried. Very quietly, he continued to search. A briefcase seemed the most likely place. Yes, it was full of papers that looked important. He took the Major's papers out carelessly and stuffed them into his school bag. He would keep them till he could put them back in the briefcase. He placed the outlaw's report at the bottom of the case. Though the outlaws were scared, William did not get panic. He quietly went on searching for Major's papers. After some time, he got it from a briefcase and took those papers to stuff into his bag. He placed their report at bottom of the case. Suddenly, the car began to slow down. It stopped in front of a hotel and Major Hamilton got out of the car and went in. William quickly closed the briefcase and slipped out of the car. He set off down the road, pleased. The outlaw's report was on its way to London. When Major slowed down, he closed the car. He was very happy that the outlaw's report was on its way to London. He walked on for a short distance and then stopped. He would still got Major Hamilton's papers in his school bag. He had better put them back again or he would get into trouble with the government. At the car, he found Major Hamilton and a man who looked to be the manager of the hotel. Major Hamilton looked white with fear. When he walked, William remembered that he had forgotten to put Major's papers back. It should be put back, otherwise he would get in trouble with the government. So he went back to the hotel. There he found the Major and the hotel manager who were searching for some papers. I was only in the hotel a minute or two, he was saying. It was there on the seat of the car, a briefcase, and it's gone now. It has been stolen. I must get in touch with the police at once. Major Hamilton found that his briefcase has been stolen by some thieves. What has been stolen? Said William, pushing himself between them. Your briefcase? Major Hamilton looked at him, hoping for a miracle. Yes, do you know about it? There were most important papers in it. Oh, them, said William carelessly. I have got them all right. I was just coming to put them back. He took out the papers from his school bag and pushed them into the astonished Major's hand. There were long explanations, at the end of which the Major took him into the hotel and gave him a wonderful meal. When Major Hamilton was searching his briefcase, William interferes by asking about the briefcase, and he told them that he had already got them and he was about to give them back, and he gave those papers to Major Hamilton. So the delightful Grateful, Major Hamilton provided a wonderful meal to William. No, I didn't get it to London, explained William to the outlaws a while later. The report was stolen with the briefcase before we got there. There were some other papers too, but I bet it was our report they were really after. Someone must have found out about it. Then we won't get an Act of Parliament, said the outlaws, disappointed. Well, perhaps not an Act of Parliament exactly, admitted William. But this Major Hamilton says he will do the best he can for us. He'll take us to a pantomime at Christmas. The outlaws cheered loudly. A pantomime? Wow! Hooray! The outlaws' report was completely forgotten. For what was an Act of Parliament when compared to a pantomime? When William returned to Outlaws, he explained what had happened. He told that their report was stolen by some thieves who had stolen Major Hamilton's briefcase. The outlaws were disappointed. By hearing this, our other outlaws, they were disappointed because they realized that the report would not be made into an Act of Parliament. But when they heard that Major Hamilton had promised to take them to a pantomime as a reward, they cheered up immediately and they forgot all about the reports. So the pantomime was more important to the outlaws. Pantomime is a play for children in which traditional stories were performed with jokes, music and songs. So these outlaws, they were completely forgot all about their demands and their report because they were very much excited by hearing that they would get a chance to attend a pantomime in Christmas. So children, this is the end of our story, The Outlaws Report by Richmal Crompton. Thank you.